Noragami will never get another season. It's criminally underrated, but I'll still talk about it. Anywho, this dude Yato is a god people forgot about, and he will do anything, no matter how strange, for that change. This dude will clean your gutters, stop a bug infestation, all for the high price of 5 yen. The absolute buffoonery and peak fights in this anime has solidified it as one of my favorite anime growing up. But enough talk, and let's get right into that sauce. So the episode starts with this giant snake monster feeding on the school's negative energy, and immediately Yato jumped up off the building. Then he starts kicking it the hell in. He's gonna give that monster some brain damage. So the girl ended up turning into a weapon, and my guy Yato was doing the most. He jumped into the air, did a backflip, and was gracefully falling. My boy queued up his Naruto Ninja Storm finisher and started chanting some incantations and proceeded to go all the way down and cut it into little pieces. And look at bro's face, he's hitting that one TikTok emoji. I promise Yato, we saw the finisher. So she turns back into a human again and starts cooking him. She was like, what are you smiling for? Your hands stink, you're broke as hell, and you're homeless. She was like, she cannot live life the broke at God no more. Then she quit being his Regalia, which are the spirit weapons. So off rip, my boy took a fat L. So later on, this one girl was walking and Yato was looking for a cat. He was doing all that just for another 5 yen. They both saw each other for a brief second, and it turns out that the cat was in the middle of the street. So Yato ran after it, and he was about to get hit by a bus, and she saved him. But just when they thought shit was sweet, it turns out that she actually got hit by the bus. If y'all don't know, this is the Menace Truck-kun's cousin. It turns out that her soul got separated from her body. She wakes up in the hospital, and it turns out that she's good, which is crazy because she almost got isekai'd. So later that night, this creepy ass dude Yato appeared in her sheets looking like a threat. She gets scared and gets away from him. Oh my god, the animators knew what they were doing with that. He was over here trying to ore farm and introduce himself, but it turns out she has no idea who this man is, except for the fact that she saw him earlier that day. It turns out random times in the day she turns into her spirit form, so he agrees to help her. So later that day, my boy Yato got shit-faced drunk. She called him and she found a Regalia form, but it turns out it was a giant evil crab spirit. Then he started expeditiously running, but low-key, she's cooking. She starts dodging his attacks. She jumps into the air and tries to fight him, but Yato grabs her by the tail and moves her out of the way. But right as he did that, the crab got a bite on him, but the bite wound starts turning stanky. No way that crab's mouth stank like that. Not long after they were hiding, the crab finds them, and Yato finds a little spirit. He does the incantation and gets his new weapon, and my boy was over here posing. I promise Yato, we see the fit. The crab runs and snatches him in his mouth, but then he does a final attack and obliterates the spirit, ending the fight. But later on, his new Regalia, which is Yuki, finds out that Yato's a bum with no bread and no house. He gets tired of Yato and runs away. Yuki was walking alone and saw this kid getting attacked by a monster and tried to save her. Then it turned out that the little girl was a demon herself and her eye turned red. Yo, if I was Yuki, I would have been like,
I like your cut, G.
Right before Yuki was about to get put on a t-shirt, she saved him, and then they got slammed by, whatever the hell this thing is. But it turns out the GOAT Yato saved them right before they got put on a shirt. So he and Yato end up teaming up again. He jumps down the building and goes in for a slash. Apparently Yuki was getting pissed off because it was still the little girl and that he wanted to save her. Bro, I'm starting to hate this man Yuki. Does that look like a sweet little girl to you? Yato tells him that it's too late for the little girl and they have to kill her. Yato gets slammed back because Yuki wasn't locking in and wasn't doing enough damage. Goes in for another slash, but Yuki over here was still crying. But Yato ended up taking up too much damage because Yuki wasn't locked in. But apparently you could just wash the blights away with just some water, so he was good. Later on, the three of them were just chilling outside, and he got pulled up on by S-Death with freaking blonde hair. Then she swung the whip. After seeing that, that gave me an Avatar flashback of all my ancestors. She then presses him about how she's gonna get vengeance on him. And one thing I don't understand is why do female anime characters be boxing with the freakiest fits? She looks like that she's straight out of Bikini Warriors. Don't ask me how I know about that anime. But Yato wasn't just staying there, he starts running away. And bro, look at this lion, it looks like it's straight out of the short bus. She was chasing after him using a scouter, and my boy Yato thought that he was safe. He realizes he can't hide forever, so he gets out of hiding and squares up with her. He pulls out her whip and immediately cracks it like it's 1750. She gets a hit on him and my guy was sweating like crazy. He jumps into the air to dodge the other one, and he does an unnecessary spin and gets caught. She launches him away and spawns in a freaking Glock. She basically said,
Sweet cheese in your snitching ass, twin.
and this menace Yato cuts one of the bullets, dodges the other one, and slashes her whip. Then she reveals that Yato apparently killed one of the Regalias in the past. My boy Yuki was scared as hell. He thought he was next on the chopping block. He pulls out another Glock out of nowhere, feeling like my boy Death the Kid. Soul Eater video coming soon. And then she blasted him. He tries running away and she starts blasting him even more. So they finally start hiding in a forest, and you can ask him that if he's gonna kill him just like he did the other Regalia. But this man Yato ain't give a damn and started arguing with him. But all that didn't last a while. She quite literally jumped in holding a freaking greatsword like she's guts. So the standoff begins and she lunges at him, but right before that, Kofuku pulls up and blasts them. She tries to make them stop fighting, but it wasn't done. She had her lion bite Yato, and I'm still wondering, how does a freaking lion become a Regalia? He finally gets away from the lion with some help, and they decided that they needed to retreat, mainly because that entire rift was sending out a lot of evil spirits and that would kill the rest of them. But y'all must be wondering, who helped him? It was his old Regalia, back when he used to be on that King Von timing. So a while later, Yuki was alone, and she starts pressing him because she was jealous of him, and immediately Yato came to save him. He was like, like, Yuki, forget all that BS. I ain't trying to talk to her. Let's vanquish that spirit. But Yuki's weak had a hard time vanquishing the spirit. And she was over there looking at him like, hey, you don't want to keep using that weak ass dude. You can use me anytime. I just realized how freaky that sounds. So then she ends up leaving with this one edgy looking dude. Fast forward later, his old Regalia pulls up creepy as hell. Apparently she took away Hiyori's memory of Yato and all that they went through together. And with absolutely no chill, he gets attacked by Rabo. And my boy Yato is wondering how the hell this man is still alive. He goes for the swings and Yato dodges it and blocks those. He then dodges one and goes for a counter. But bro over here did an unnecessary backflip. Rabo spins his sword and creates these water whips like he was Noel. But Yato does another backflip just to dodge it and proceeds to slice it in the process. At this point, Yato has way too many ups. First we had Ezeth, and now we got this dude. So Yato starts running and uses the telephone line to launch himself at this dude. And I thought that this fight was over, but nope, it was just a water clone. Bro, you are not Zabuza. Then he goes in for a sneak attack and it looks like it's GG's for Yato. They start clashing again and Yato gets yeeted like he was in Team Rocket. But that was the end of the fight. So his old Regalia said that if Yato manages to beat Rabo, she would give Hiyori's memories back. Yato went to the meeting spot and pulled up the box. Right before he teleported, she ends up grabbing up on him. Now she's there too, and I know damn well they're gonna use her as a hostage. So immediately the boxing begins and they clash. Yato MMA kicked him and my guy over there was just standing there. Bro, you do not look tough. Yato lunges at him and he gets launched by the wind of this guy's sword. And come on bro, you really get launched away by wind? So he sends out a water prison jutsu like he was Kisame. And bro was talking about some, I want the real Yato back. Just like how he wanted Eneli to do his thug music instead of his freaky shit. So Hiyori gets him out of the bubble. And Rabo wasn't liking them having their moment. He was like, wasn't it bros over hoes? But Yato wasn't having it. He goes in for the attack again and he's absolutely getting babied. And then he proceeds to put Yato on the ground. And my boy Rabo said the fruitiest shit ever. He was like, your eyes used to be so beautiful back then. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Rabo has to be a Hisoka disciple. He then pushes him, goes for a few swings, and the last one gets dodged. But Rabo gets a bright idea. He realizes he has to go for the girl so he could give Yato an animate rage boost. So he dodges the attack like it was nothing and goes towards her and proceeds to try and chop her head off. But Yato wasn't having it. He throws his sword to block it and he manages to get her out of there. But right as they got away, this straight menace was just watching them. He's just trolling them. This part was diabolical. He started flexing the memories in there and told this dude to go fetch. Yato starts sprinting and tries to catch it like he was a wide receiver. But my guy cuts it in half using the wind of his sword. She collapses. And finally, this dude Yato takes off his bandana and he was done with all that BS. He starts tweaking and tells this man to shut up. And off rip, Yato teleports behind him and kicks this man across the entire area. Yo, he got this man in a crater like he was Yamcha. And my guy did that one anime thing. He's like, yeah, I like that. So Yato was just standing there and dodges his attack. Then he proceeds to send out some slashes. Yato jumps up behind him and bro over here was losing his chill. And they start fiercely boxing and I'm having a hard time keeping up. But after all that, my boy Yato gets a cut in. Rabo did not care though. He was just reminiscing about how both of them was running duo squats together. But after yapping, Rabo starts to lock the hell in. And my guy pulls out an entire tower of evil spirits. And my guy over here pulls up with his own version of Sharingan. First water clones and then the Sharingan. Yeah, this man gotta be a Naruto reference. After powering up, he runs up on him. Yato dodges and they clash in the air, boxing like they're in Dragon Ball. Both send slashes at each other and Yato barely dodges it. They have an entire boxing sequence, but one of the debris almost hits Hiyori, and he takes advantage of it and sends a massive blow at Yato. I thought it might have been GG's for my boy, but after a lot, she finally wakes up, and Yato is getting a little too touchy on her. Then in old anime fashion, she kicks the hell out of him. She sends him flying through an entire boulder. Like damn, she about strong as hell. But after that near-death experience, she manages to remember everything. But that doesn't stop Rabo from being on straight Vaughn timing. He grabs her by the leg and tells Yato to get it back in blood. So this tweaker, Rabo, tries to end her, but Yato ends up charging up a final attack. He sends out the attack and it finally is able to save her. Rabo was over there on 1 HP and the fight was almost ending. But the final clash happened, and Yato put this man to sleep. Join the Discord, we're doing weekly watch parties of solo leveling and other anime. Link in the description. That concludes it for the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys on the next one.